Right now, a dog somewhere is listening to you talk. It knows its name. It knows the word walk. But it will never ask you a question or tell you about yesterday. You've never thought twice about that gap. The real reason it exists is far stranger than you think. Every animal makes sound. Wolves howl. Whales sing across oceans. But only one species turns sound into something that could describe a place you've never seen, or a person who died long before you were born. That species is you. So what happened? Start with your throat. Every other great ape has a larynx sitting high near the skull, letting it breathe and drink at once. Safe, but limited. Only a narrow range of sounds. Somewhere between 1 and 2 million years ago, the human larynx began dropping lower. Researcher Philip Lieberman spent decades studying what this made possible. A longer vocal tract meant room for vowels, consonants, real speech. But a lower larynx also raised the risk of choking. Humans choke on food more than almost any other animal. Why make that trade? Because for some ancestor, being able to say something mattered more than staying safe while eating. Your whole species bet on communication over caution. And it worked. Still, a lower throat isn't the whole story. Parrots mimic words perfectly, with throats nothing like yours. The real leap was in the brain. In 2001, geneticists studying the KE family found several generations struggling with a specific speech disorder tied to sequencing the tiny muscle movements speech requires. They traced it to one gene, FOXP2. Not the only language gene, but a key piece of the wiring behind rapid, controlled speech. Your throat and your gene explain how you could speak. They don't explain why you needed to. That's where anthropologist Robin Dunbar comes in. He compared group size to brain size across primates and found that larger groups meant larger neocortices, built for tracking more relationships. Other primates maintain bonds through grooming, one-on-one. It works, but it doesn't scale. Dunbar proposed something bold. Language was gossip, social technology. Instead of grooming one ally for an hour, you could speak to 5 people in that same hour. Once language existed, everything sped up. A warning could travel through a group in seconds. A story about poisonous berries could save someone who was never there. Knowledge stopped dying with the person who learned it. That's the real power, not the sound, but what the sound could carry. You feel this every day without noticing. When you warn a friend about a bad restaurant or tell a coworker which manager to avoid, you're doing exactly what your ancestors did around a fire 50,000 years ago. Some researchers believe spoken language may stretch back over 100,000 years, long before anyone carved a symbol into stone. Bodies may have been ready to speak long before anyone knows when the first sentence was spoken. Once it happened, nothing was the same. Groups coordinated hunts without everyone seeing the plan firsthand. Strangers meeting for the first time could trade trust in seconds just by trading the right words. No other species does this. A wolf can't tell its pack about a threat it saw 3 valleys over last winter. You can, and you've done it your whole life without noticing. Every conversation you've ever had runs on hardware that cost your ancestors something. A riskier throat, a rewired brain. Millions of years of trial and error, so one voice could reach further than one pair of hands ever could. So the next time you're mid-sentence, telling someone about your day, remember what that sentence is. Not just air through your throat. The oldest technology you own, built to do one thing no other species manages. Make sure what one person learns doesn't have to die with them. Right now, a dog somewhere is listening to you talk. It will never understand most of it. But you understand exactly why that gap exists and what your ancestors paid to close it. Thank you for watching, and see you all in the next one.